So yesterday I showed you the Book of Truth. Now, whilst the Book of Truth doth speaketh the truth, it doesn't have every detail in there, because I was talking about our transfer activity and players we might have been linked with, but one of them escaped my notice, and I tell you what, he looks very, very good indeed. Let me make sure I get his name right. His name is Adam Hlozek. He's probably called Adam Hlozek, but he is from Sparta Prague. Yes, you've guessed it, but it's not the other striker. Maybe he was called Simmer, something like that. Anyway, this one looks really good. Now, I've only seen him on YouTube clips, and far be it from me just to judge someone on YouTube clips alone. I won't do it. YouTube has a tendency and a capacity to make players look really, really good. It shows you all their best bits, and it shows you none of their bad bits at all. And it's hard to make a judgment on them. However, I think I've seen this kid play, only on the YouTube clips, obviously, and he looks brilliant. He's 18 years of age. He's from Sparta Prague. Hold on. Apparently, he's interested Arsenal and Bayern Munich. And Thomas Soucek, hold on, excuse me. And Thomas Soucek has let it be known that he thinks he's as good as any striker. I can't keep this up. I'm sorry, it's still there. It's still there. The spot is still there. I've tried everything. No, nothing works. Any old those wives' tales, nothing works. Drinking a glass of water upside down doesn't work. Holding your breath for 60 seconds doesn't work. Toothpaste doesn't work. Toothpaste does work on your teeth, by the way, just in case there's any children watching who think they're going to get out cleaning their teeth. It just you put toothpaste on a spot, it continues to be a spot. Anyway, where was I? I know. Hold on, I need my glasses again. Not the yellow ones. Okay, so this Adam Hlozek, I think he looks absolutely brilliant. He's big. On the Moyes factor, tick. Moyes likes him big. He likes a big player. I mentioned yesterday when I was talking about Marcus Edwards. I thought he might be a little bit too diminutive. I like him, but I thought he might be a little bit too diminutive for what Moyes likes in his team. You get the impression Moyes only going to have 2 or 3 small players in his team. This boy's big, sort of 6'2", something like that. He looks quick enough, not rapid, but quick enough, you know what I mean? Strong, skillful, dominant in the air, great shot, inventive, can dribble. What is there not to like? In fact, I would say if we sort of have an inside track into Sparta Prague, if we have, let's say, an advantage over some players, over some teams in terms of purchasing from Sparta Prague, then we should be going to get this kid. I mean, I would be looking at this and thinking, do what you can for Sebastien Haller. Get him out, whatever. Loan him to Sparta Prague. They probably don't want him. I'm not sure how good Sebastien Haller's Czech is, but loan him. Get him out. Do something. Bring this kid over because he looks absolutely brilliant. Now, he has scored 4 goals and he's made 6 assists this season from 7 appearances, right? But then he got an injury. But it was only a metatarsal injury. I say only metatarsal. Anybody that's probably ever had a metatarsal injury is probably watching this thinking, actually, they're very, very painful. Do you remember the one? Nobody had ever heard of the metatarsal before David Beckham broke his metatarsal, and then everybody was an expert on the metatarsal. It's the bone in your foot before the toe. He's basically got a sore toe, but it's better now. And but Man United were after him, Arsenal were after him, Bayern Munich. And it says in the article, the injury may put off the likes of Man United, but West Ham are still battling to bring in their 3rd Czech player. We don't just need 3. Let's bring in the whole lot. And this is also off the back of the stats I read it on Claret and Hugh this morning, that the dribble, Vladimir Soufal is the top in the Premier League at stopping dribbles. I don't mean he runs around with a handkerchief to stop saliva and that. I mean, when opposition players are trying to do their stuff, Rashford, or actually, no, did he get dragged up? I can't remember. I can't even remember now. Do you know what I mean? But whatever, you know what I'm saying. When the opposition player, winger, is trying to dribble and weave their way through the West Ham defence, It's Soucek that stops him, and he's the best in the Premier League, even better than Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who I thought was the best at that. Well, that's pretty impressive. And we know all about Big Sue, Super Thomas Soucek. Did you say Super Sue? He's magnificent, the goal-scoring machine, goal-scoring midfielder. Why not? Let's just bring another one over. But look, I am being a little bit silly, granted, but this kid looks absolutely brilliant. Adam Hlozek. Go check him out. Check him out. Very, very good. Talking about things that I missed in yesterday's sort of a Book of Truth video, was I hadn't realised at the time recording the video, because we speak about Josh King quite a lot. Josh King is apparently he's interested in Sam Allardyce. Now I find this to be quite an interesting twist to the story, if you like. Because I think if I was Josh King, I wouldn't want to go to West Brom. I mean, that's a hard sell. For Sam Allardyce to sell that club to anybody is going to be tough. And I know Sam's going to say, his record, I've never got anyone relegated and all the rest of it. But you look at it, and I think their points total is so bad, they're highly likely to get relegated. And you sort of look at it a little bit. Actually, you need some defenders, mate, not just a striker, really. I think if I was a championship club and I'd run my contract down like Josh King has. Josh King has clearly run his contract down because he wants something new. He wants a big juicy deal. He obviously sees himself as a Premier League player. Why would you go there? I think if I was King, I'd be looking at it and thinking, I'm not going to do all this just to be a Premier League player for another 6 months to get relegated again. And does he really want to get into a situation where he inserts a clause where he can leave if that happens? I just really don't think there's any point. That being said, if it was a choice between Josh King and Adam Hlozek, I've said that right. It's probably because he's a Czech player. It's probably not Hlozek, because it's like you don't pronounce Soufal Kufal as spelled. He's probably called Soucek. He's probably called Soucek, isn't he? But anyway, I would rather have this Adam Hlozek than Josh King, clearly. But I'm just saying. Anyway, this I didn't know. Apparently, it's said here he's only got a few months left to run his contract. His contract's running out, and it says here that they turned down 7 million. This is Bournemouth, turned down 7 million from Torino in the summer and 13 million for West Ham. Did we honestly bid 13 million for someone whose contract was running out? I hope not. I would hope not. Just because I think you just get him for less than that. I'm not that desperate to have Josh King. I have two reasons for thinking Josh King is a viable option. Number one, is he can run around a bit, and number two, because he's cheap. Well, 13 million ain't cheap. I'm thinking, what is it? 5.5 months till his contract runs out. He's going to leave on a free, isn't he? Surely Bournemouth got to take 2 or 3 million, something like that. That it's a deal worth doing. 13 million, no. Anyway, so I just thought that was a little bit interesting. So naughty Sam Allardyce, just doing what he can. Now, Sam Allardyce is also apparently interested in Robert Snodgrass. Now, Snodgrass is in a similar situation to King in as much as his contract is up at the end of this season. Now, both Snodgrass and King can sign pre-contract agreements with foreign clubs. They have to see out the remainder of their contract with their current club, but then they can leave. Now, I don't know anything about King, whether he would be interested in joining a foreign club. He's Norwegian, so clearly he's not adverse to travelling around a bit. But Snodgrass, I'm not so sure. But is Snodgrass going to feature for West Ham much this season? No, he's not. And I've already spoken about the Stevenage game and the Cup. I don't want to see Snodgrass and Noble taking up central midfield for that game. I want to see us taking it seriously. I know someone's pointed out in the chat they're non-league opposition. I've been there too many times. Honestly, I've been there too many times. I'd rather see, in all honesty, one senior player like Big Sue there, and with Conor Coventry next to him or something like that, and I would see Snodgrass in there. Snodgrass offers a lot to the dressing room. He's a good character and so on and so forth. But I wouldn't blame him for leaving. He offers some he was never a particularly quick player anyway. He was always a winger for all his career. He's not quick enough to play on the wing now, so we shoehorn him playing in central midfield. He's not really a central midfielder either. He's very good from dead ball situations, but he's just not going to feature in the team very much at all. So I don't even mean if an offer come in. I'm not talking about trying to make any money out of him particularly, but for him, let him go and play some Premier League football for the second part of the season there, certainly. In terms of just Snodgrass, sort of his time at West Ham, I feel a bit sorry for him because he was brought in as a replacement for Dimitri Payet. Oh, man, those are big boots to fill. You know what I mean? You can't be. Oh, you're Dimitri Payet's replacement. Oh, brilliant. You're on a hide into nothing. Didn't work out for him. What did we do? We loaned him out to Aston Villa. They got promoted. He played quite well for Aston Villa. Aston Villa got promoted, but I think it was tough for him, wasn't it? Because didn't the owner come out? Didn't David Sullivan come out quite publicly and say, we didn't want, I didn't want to buy. He said something along the lines of, I didn't want to buy Robert Snodgrass, and my children, my two sons, David and Jack, said, oh, Dad, you don't want to buy him, or something like that. And he came out publicly and said that. And I think Snodgrass then did a public tweet, and he came out and said, oh, thanks very much, Mr. Chairman, which you can't blame him for. So I think he's earned decent money, but you wouldn't say it had been a massive success. He never really became an established first team player for West Ham, did he? So this is, it's all difficult for Snodgrass there, really. And I feel a little bit sorry for him. I think that was about it. There was just a couple of stories that I missed off the transfer roundup yesterday. All I would say as well is on that, somebody mentioned in the comments, just going back to the two things, going back to Big Sam. Somebody mentioned in the comments that wouldn't be surprised if Sam came in for Noble. I thought that was an interesting one. That is an interesting one. I don't think Noble would go, by the way. But actually, Allardyce coming in for Mark Noble to bring him into that team. Stranger things have happened. That's all I'm saying at that one. I just thought, yeah. That's a little bit interesting, that one, really. The other one, just finally, was on the Christian Eriksen. Just a point was made by somebody again in the comments, which was Felipe Anderson's, who we'll discuss later on in the week. Felipe Anderson, Felipe Anderson's stock is perhaps higher in Italy than it is in England, and certainly in Portugal. Is there an option? Because they do seem to really be trying to push Christian Eriksen out the door into Milan. Somebody said, is there an option for us to recall Felipe Anderson, which it looks like we're doing, and actually almost do a swap loan, where we loan them Felipe Anderson into Milan, and we take Christian Eriksen? I thought it was an interesting comment. I think the same suspicions for me remain. Where does Christian Eriksen fit within our system? I think he's that talented, you probably make a space for him. He's really, really good, isn't he? But he still doesn't strike me as a David Moyes type player. So that remains, I think. I just remember him being really, really good, really, really top quality at Tottenham, wasn't he? Certainly. I think he might have played for Ajax before that. He was really, really good there as well. However, he just doesn't, I don't know, there's something in the back of my mind. He doesn't quite strike me as a David Moyes player, really. So, possibly not on that one. I think that's about it. Wrapped up for today. We'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with a slightly better complexion. Doesn't matter anymore, does it? I've been rumbled.